What's going on, Husker fans? Welcome back to Believe in Nebraska Football on the Believe Podcast Network. I am your host, Sam Casaccio, with co-hosts Eric Crouch and Johnny the Jet Rodgers. How are you guys doing today?
Doing awesome. How are you guys?
It's on like buttered popcorn.
It's
doing
on.
Okay.
It's on. This is it. It will be live. There are no instant replays. It is live, y'all.
All right. So, hey, basketball is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup information, player info, and game trends at BetOnline.
And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and the easiest way to bet all your favorite sports on events, whether it's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf.
Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Every day's game day, y'all.
So Wisconsin, we were that close. We were a quarter away from ending a 10-year drought, and the Huskers found a way to collapse and let the Badgers continue their winning streak against us. Guys, this is tough. It's every week. They always find a way. They find a new way to hurt you, whether it's just not doing anything for 4 quarters like they did against Michigan, or, really controlling a game for the majority and then letting it slip through their fingers. I think for me, 2 things I took from this is Casey Thompson's clearly is a difference maker on this team. Like, I think it's probably, we haven't shown what a good we haven't really our team has kind of probably held him back. Like, he's clearly a really good player because we can't even get a first down when he's not in. And then when he is, we have no ground game, but he's still finding a way to score touchdowns. So we're a night and day different team when he's out there. Love for him to come back. He walked for senior day, so we don't know if he will. But obviously we're a completely different team with him under center. And the other thing is Johnny says it every week, get to the fourth quarter, and we started off good, but we get to the fourth quarter.
That booty get tight.
They just don't, I don't know. I can't imagine. To me, you're winning that game. It's senior day. This has got to feel like the Super Bowl to you. If you get this win, you get that trophy, you're up 14-3. I just don't know how, Wisconsin's beating us every year. This would mean the world. It must have meant, it had to have felt like it meant so much more to us than it did to them, to ultimately in the end feel like we didn't really want it as much as them. Because I see, they're a running team. They're down 14-3. We've already kind of put them where they don't want to be, and they're on the road. Such an uphill climb.
I was impressed. I was impressed. I'm trying to find the positives here. I was impressed with, Wisconsin's generally a pretty good football team, coached well, and they got some big physical players, and they like to control the game. So for us to come out and do what we did, and man, everything looked pretty darn good until those last 35 seconds, and that just it changed everything. And we still just can't find that way there, that will to win at the very end. I hate to keep comparing them to, teams of the past or programs of the past, but it just seems like Nebraska's always been one of those teams that can, that can dominate you and be physical, and be nasty and really just play the game better. And it's just not getting done in the times that we need it to get done.
Well, you're talking about those teams, Eric, that believed that they could. It's like when I played, we believed that we could. I think we're in an era now where they don't believe that they can.
Yeah.
And even though they really want it bad, they really would love it. It was the biggest game that they had of the season. And if they hadn't won it, then the other team, they wouldn't have went to the bowl game. It was a huge game, but they just don't believe they can win. And things come to you as you believe. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, whatever you believe, you're probably going to be right. And we don't believe we can win.
Well, yeah, I mean, I honestly, that's a nice way to look at it, Eric. I think that's, I mean, because I was excited there for 3 quarters. At least it was, felt good. That felt good.
Ain't nothing happened until fourth quarter, though, fellas. You know that.
I know that's what
You gotta play
Johnny
the whole
says
game.
every week.
Ain't nothing
I
happened
thought
until
that
fourth
I
quarter.
thought about that when it was happening. And I think you're making, Eric, you make a good point. I think Johnny's been spot on about the fourth quarter on every podcast leading up to now, and that showed itself. But you make a good point, Eric, about they did a lot of good things for 3 quarters, and they're just still missing that thing, something,
Killer
culturally.
instinct. You got to get that put away attitude.
But believing, all of that something Wisconsin seems to have. I mean, they're a good team, but this is a seriously down year for them. They're not nearly as good as the Wisconsin teams that haven't let us get a win in 10 years, that were blowing out Bo Pelini's teams.
They're still going to a bowl game.
They're going to go to a bowl game, but they're
still
that's
going
what they
to
were.
A bowl. A week is still going to a bowl.
That's what they're fighting for, and it just felt like they still knew, I'm down 3, I'm on the road, I know what needs to be done to win, and I got it, and they did it. It was like the opposite. It was like what we're lacking and what they have, that we need. That's what it is. They seem to make they had, he was he had a quarterback that was 8 for 18, and you're a running team, you're down by double digits, you're on the road. Seems like it should be really tough to get out of that situation, but they just found a way. They seem to be able to find a way. They're a team that kind of is like that. And we're just lacking that, in our DNA right now.
Yeah, the chemistry's gone. I mean, the playing for one another, the playing for each other, the trusting the guy next to you.
That's right.
Those things are just everyone's trying to do too much, and it just it's one of those things that just keep disappointing you when you watch it. And we got to get it. We got to get together. I mean, it's got to happen. Soon,
well, I think
I worry about a lot here with this, the Nebraska mystique, and we've got young kids in this state who are now not real interested in Nebraska football, and that is they're wanting to go play in other programs. They don't want to play at Nebraska, and that's just not the way that that our program survives here in Nebraska, or that we're used to managing. It's kids.
I'm more concerned, Eric, that people from outside the state won't want to come here.
Yeah,
it's going to be harder to recruit, and especially if they don't keep Mickey, which I think is a great recruiter. Whoever the new head coach that comes in is going to have a difficult time, and it's going to take them a longer time to build up a stable team, because we're going to darn near have to transition out of darn near everybody.
Yeah, clean slate starting over. I mean,
yeah, I gotta say, even just as a, not just the, you guys are talking about the players staying here, players in Nebraska staying here.
Oh, I'm not talking about none of them staying.
Well, just or it's people wanting to come, players.
That's what I'm talking about. Who's going to want to come?
Who's going to want to come?
And for what reason?
But honestly, I'm getting concerned about the fans.
What is it? What draws you to Nebraska right now? If you're a 17, 18-year-old, and you're looking around, and you're watching these things happen, what? I don't know. What do you think, Johnny? What draws you to go play?
Well, I would come because of a guy like Mickey Josephs.
Yeah.
If I give you, Mickey came to recruit me, and he told me that I'm going to recruit a lot more players like you, and we're going to clean this up and get it back on track here. And with the enthusiasm that he does have, I might believe that. Yeah. I believe Bob when he told me the same thing when we hadn't won a championship in years when I first came here. But he told me he was going to recruit the type of players that we could get it done, and he did. And we did. I believed him, and the other guys believed him. Now, if we have another coach come in and got to clean up all the mess and just come in from scratch, it's going to be hard for him to understand that he could go out and promote the atmosphere, the environment, and all the things that he hasn't experienced yet. He's really starting over. He doesn't have a head start at all. At least Mickey has an idea of what it's really going to take to get this done. He's going through it here right now. He has a head start. Somebody else that comes in here right now, they're going to start all over from scratch.
Yeah. I do think
and
that
go
the
out
new
to recruit
facility, a new
Yeah.
locker room, I think, is going to draw some new recruits. I think they'll like to come to facilities that are they're first class or number one in the country.
Well,
It's been
they
a long
almost
time
all.
since Nebraska had a number one facility.
I know, but all the rest of them do. It's a lot of
Well,
other
that's what I'm
places that
saying. Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Yeah, and just to come or a place where they got good facilities, but you don't win football games is not that attractive to me.
Yeah.
I can go dress up in a nice place, but we're not winning, and we can't get other players to come compliment me. There's other places I can go. They have choices, and
Sure.
we got to promote winning.
We got to
nice
find
facilities
ways
is
to
great,
win.
but we got to say, well, we're going to win.
It's
We're going to bring in the
kind
kind of
though.
players.
They're going to be. It's hard to go out. It's a tough thing. That's why, I'm surprised that they haven't named a coach by now. You've got December signing day coming out here in early December, and there's some things that it'd be nice for.
There's guys already that made up their mind.
Yeah.
On where they're going already. We haven't even started recruiting.
I think that you're spot on. We have been recruiting. Mickey has been recruiting. He offered the kid who from
the field goals.
From West Side.
West Side, yeah.
Yeah, that was
pretty cool. That was
great.
great.
I love seeing that.
That's great. Him and Mickey get a good relationship going on, and Mickey don't stay. Then what?
I think you're spot on with Mickey staying. I mean, I think everybody may or may not have seen the news today that the rumor or that the hearsay is that Matt Rule just has declined an offer from Nebraska. May or may not be true. I mean, we're hearing a lot of different stuff. This seemed to be a little more reputable than some of the other rumors that we're hearing. The like seeing Urban Meyer at Millard Lumber, but we're all speculating that was one of them. Yeah. we got people
Millard Lumber sure got some publicity, don't they?
We got people tracking the runways at Lincoln.
I heard Tom Osborne's
on Twitter.
going back for a year.
Yeah. Everybody's throwing, whatever they can against the wall in terms of rumors about this, but this seems like maybe it's the case. I think it's interesting. Well, I think that you start to get a little nervous, I will say, because Eric just mentioned that why haven't we named somebody? If it's going to be Mickey, you would have thought that would have happened by now. That being said, like Jim Leonard, at Wisconsin, I think that they are going to name him. They haven't done that yet. But I don't get the sense that we are going to name Mickey. Maybe we are, maybe we're not, as the head coach. I do think keeping him on staff is huge for a few reasons. I think that it keeps some continuity within the team, even though he was just here for a year. I think that Mickey said today that something he can feel good about and stand behind is that he feels like the team is better today than they were when he took them, when he took over.
When he took over.
And I think that's right. So that's a good thing. And I think the players probably feel some kind of way about that. So if he could stay on staff, I think that would be key for us, given that, I'm not sure what kind of offers we're going to be getting, but I'm excited. It's an exciting time because it's just, it's not going to, it can't really get a whole lot worse than it is. I mean, it always can, but it's painful, there's a lot of painful losses and stuff. And, something new to get a little new injection in the arm. Do you guys have any feelings about who you'd like to see or anybody that's been talked about? I mean, do you guys still feel like you'd like to see Mickey named head coach, or just keep him on the staff?
Yeah, I think Mickey, I don't know. I mean, I know Trev has got to do his due diligence, and he's got to look at the list and the good coaches that would be available or that might want this position. I think that's probably a smart move for an athletic director. But I just think he's got a gem sitting there with Mickey, and I hope Mickey wants this job, and I hope he gets it, because like I said, we beat this up a lot throughout the season. At least I have, is that I just think he brings an excitement to the program where players play for him. Players, he didn't recruit all those. He just came into this. So, imagine if he got some time, if he got the 2 or 3 years, that guys get, or 4 years to build up a program. And I think he'd be very successful.
Well, I think it would really go over bigger if we did keep Mickey, because he's close to the program right now, so we can keep it going steady rather than having to start from scratch with another coach, uh, and we don't have to go crazy with the money, because if we have another head coach come in, then they're going, if they offer him the same type of money that they had to offer Scott to get him here, and we walk around here with another $30 million that we got out on the line, and still it's going to take him 3 or 4 years before he even gets started again. So we out there 600, 700, 30, 40, $50 million, and don't know what's really going on here. But with Mickey, we can keep their expenses down to where it's reasonable, and we're closer to the program than we've ever been of winning for the last several years. But I would hate for us to go out there on a limb with another 30, $40 million and don't come up with nothing.
Yeah,
So,
I
we
think
don't have nothing to show for that last 30
Yeah.
million. Not nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's
Nothing.
It's pretty brutal.
Only thing we got to show for that is we brought Mickey in, and we have a guy standing tall still, and well, the monies that we spent, but we got 30 million when Scott is just gone. We absolutely didn't get anything of our recruiting. What do we have that we recruited that we have a value right now? We don't have any all Big Ten players coming. We don't have no award winners. We don't have a bowl game. We don't have anything at all to show for that money we spent whatsoever. So to go out there and spend another big pot of money, I just can't see it.
Well,
right
speaking of
now.
bowl games, I mean, I think this game this week is looked at like a bowl game.
That's right.
I mean, just move into the Iowa topic, but like when you said bowl games, I'm thinking, man, if I was on this team, right, I'd be thinking like, this is my last game. It's my bowl game. Like, this is the last time I'm going to put the pads on if you're a senior, or maybe a junior, or who knows, maybe there's some freshmen.
It's a lot last time that a lot of
are
going to be putting the uniform on down there, as far as I can see.
I mean, these last couple games, Wisconsin, Iowa, we play them every year. You play for a trophy. We haven't played in bowl games. They've been our bowl games for this is the only bowl game that any of the players on this team have ever known.
Right.
So they're used. This is it. They're used to this being the last game of the year. Yeah.
Big deal.
So this is their game. I'd love to see him come out. I mean, I think it would be big for the program. If I made me sad a little bit that they let the Wisconsin game slip through, because we're talking about having Mickey come in here. I mean, Mickey could get one of these games, one of these last two games. It's really I don't know if Trev's already made his mind up or what, but one of these games, if you could turn it, it's a huge deal, because you're talking about 10 years for Wisconsin. I think it's 7 years or 8 years for Iowa that you haven't been able to win. You have an interim head coach who manages to get one. If he could get one, I mean, we were, minutes away from getting one on Saturday. So you find a way to get one on Black Friday against Iowa. I think, you're making a good, it's hard to, you don't, you don't want to relieve another coach who beats Iowa of his duties after you did that with Pelini, and then you haven't beaten him since. You don't want to do that twice. So, you get Mickey gets that win, and, it's hard to take him off as head coach.
Iowa's going to be fighting, they're fighting for your potential to get into the conference title game. So they got a lot. They got a lot riding on this too.
That Big Ten West mud, that mud wrestling that is the standings of the Big Ten West.
I'm just looking at it.
That makes it better. That makes it better.
Yeah, they haven't been. I mean, they've been winning, but
we want to still tear that ass up.
It's not like they're winning impressively. Like it's not like they're crazy killing people or nothing.
No,
so
they don't look that good to me. They are all right. They've
struggled. They got pretty solid defense.
Great defense.
Yeah. So
it's a great
good defense.
That's if Casey Thompson and Trey Palmer could be, the best guys on the field and manage to get some on that defense, you got a chance, because although the Nebraska defense struggles, their offense has, Iowa's offense has really struggled this year and has been really one-dimensional. If they can't find a way to run the ball, they're really just kind of dead in the water. So that's what it'll come down to. I'd like to see us, get aggressive and go after it.
We got nothing to lose. I mean, shoot, I'd be throwing out
That's
trick
right.
plays and crazy
Blitz,
defenses and motions and
counters,
shifts. And
reverses.
I'd be throwing out all things that
Natural
we never
liberty.
got ready for, like,
Yeah.
what are we losing here? Nothing. Let's
Oldies
go.
but goodies.
I wish we had pulled some of that out at the end in that Wisconsin game when that Wisconsin kind of got that touchdown, got it within a score. When we kind of decided to run the ball, even though I think we knew that no one was ever going to we were never picking up a first down that way. I wish that they had kind of a play to put it in Casey's hands. Like I hope that that's what they do in this game. Just let Casey loose, and we're probably not going to be able to run the ball very much, but yeah, have a couple trick plays or something that you feel like we talk. You guys have talked about this. We've talked about it every week. A play that'll pick up a first down no matter what, because it'll probably the game will be tight when it comes down to that. That's what they needed against Wisconsin when they got the ball back after Wisconsin scored, was just you needed a play. We're going to pick up a first down with this play.
Do we ever run counters? You seen us run any counters?
I think it's all with motion if you get it,
Reverses?
I can say that I think, Casey actually talked about Anthony Grant after the game. I don't know if he said Anthony Grant, but he said we had to stop trying to go horizontal. Like, I think Anthony Grant, we all know that the line hasn't been good, but he's been trying to make it, happen himself and try to break it out. He's not necessarily following what the play is because the hole isn't there. So he's kind of just, I'm going to try to use my skill
without being a plan. He's just going in the misdirection.
Exactly.
He goes to place in the hole, and the hole is plugged up. So he's trying to pull out and go somewhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be hard to run against this team, and their pass defense is really good. I mean, they chewed Wisconsin right up. So we'll have our hands full, but I think that Casey and Trey Palmer, Casey's shown that he's one of the best players probably in the Big Ten. He's a really, really good player. You see what we look like offensively when he doesn't play. And even Rusty with a kind of a bum arm, he came in and all of a sudden we had touchdowns again. Touchdowns are back for the Huskers. So I think just let him go, let him loose, try to come up with some plays, maybe get him rolling outside on pivotal third downs and stuff, and see if we can, really kind of bend that defense.
What can we get to motivate the black skirts?
I think the key for them is just to know, hey, like you got to stop the run. Like, and even like, if that's if we have to sell out to stop the run, then do that.
Everybody
leave a guy one-on-one.
If you want to win against Nebraska, all you got to do is just keep the ball on the ground. You run. Because we can't stop people from getting 3-4 yards. And that's all you need is 3 or 4 yards every time. That's all you need. We have not been able to stop them.
Can you give the black shirts some credit? I mean, that's what I was so surprised about.
Black skirts.
I know you said black skirts. But give the D some credit that they held Wisconsin, a rushing team. They had held them for 3 quarters. That's why I thought, you got all the momentum on your side. You've stopped them from doing what they want to do. You got one more quarter, keep going. And they just, I think it comes down to their, it's a mental thing. It's that they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And hopefully I hope that they find a way to get past that this week. Win or lose. But they just find a way to fight for 4 quarters and find a way to believe that they can do it. Cause I think a lot of the guys on the team do believe they can do it. Like, I think Casey Thompson believes he can do it. I think Garrett Nelson believes he can do it. I think that there's lots of guys who do. I don't think that everyone does is what the problem is.
The only problem is that you got to have everybody in. It's got to be all in. You can't, it's hard for you really to believe it when they don't believe it. Because you can't believe it without them believing it. Because you can't do it by yourself. You need help. Who's going to help you? Well, I mean, when you do make a mistake, who's going to back you up? Everybody's going to fall short. We got to really be in there. Everybody's got to do their job plus a little more the whole game. That includes showing up in fourth quarter just like he showed up in the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some blitz, a lot of different blitzes, maybe we throw out some safety blitzes and some, some corner blitzes and so, just some
That's what I'm
different
talking about.
looks.
Let them be the
that,
man on man and go for it. Yeah.
Sell
I
out,
mean, they don't
sell
throw
out
it
to
all that
stop the
well,
run.
so get an extra guy in the box and really protect the
Exactly.
run, whether they know they're going to run it. So everyone else is on Nebraska's defense right now. So, that's maybe an advantage because they've kind of put themselves in a little bit of a hole that way. But the advantage would be Nebraska needs to stop the run because they're going to run the ball. So, maybe find ways to do that a little bit better.
Make them beat you in the air. They've really struggled to do it. So sell out and sell out. Sell out.
I was just looking at it.
Yeah,
and,
get a couple interceptions.
He doesn't have very many. Iowa's quarterback, I think, is 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Yeah,
in the season.
It's not.
So he's obviously that means he'll throw the ball up.
Yeah. He'll throw it up, but I just think that he's not going to burn you because you decided to play man coverage. Like I think bring guys if he does try to throw, pressure him. If if they're going to run it, bring extra guys and do it all day. That's what I mean. I'm not the coach, so we'll see what they do.
You could be.
You could be. That's how things get worse than they are.
And we're playing a game against a team that's 1-7, so they're finding ways to win this year, and we're not.
Yeah.
So
they have that in their DNA. That
back to the gut check
missing.
and back to the having a couple leaders to really step up and be vocal this week. I think in the locker room and out at practice and. Kind of just giving everything you got here for this last week.
No, this is it. You got to go for everybody. Got to go for it now. You ain't have to worry about later. This is it.
The rivalry's on. It's rivalry week.
There'll be fat women singing all over the world here next week.
Anything's possible.
You got to get it done. And as much as it's rivalry week, I'm also excited to just kind of close this chapter, to be honest. So we'll get this done, and I'm excited to hear who the new coach is. I mean, hey, if Mickey gets named, maybe he brings Vance Joseph in as his defensive coordinator. I mean, anything, once this season is wrapped up, there's nothing but a new chapter waiting, and you gotta hope and believe that it's got better. More promise than what we're leaving behind. So
I'll believe that. I'm sure it's gonna be better.
So tune in next week to the season finale of Believe in Nebraska Football to find out if the Huskers can find a win on rivalry Black Friday against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And as always, go Big Red.
Every day's game day, y'all.